Welcome back to the channel and thank you for watching once more. In this very short clip, just a few seconds, I can prove to you, in my opinion, in just a few seconds, that Amber Heard and her lawyer's strategy was to reveal to the jury all along that there was another trial, another judgment in favor of Amber Heard that they wanted the jury to find online. Now, remember, in the interviews following the trial, Elaine Brederhoft had said, quote, "We were not allowed to tell the jury about the UK judgment."
Remember, it's a tale of two trials, and that came out November 2, 2020. We weren't allowed to tell the jury that.
However, they did, in my view, want and intend for the jury to find the UK judgment all along. Listen to just these few seconds of Amber Heard's testimony on day 16 in respect of the UK trial. Listen to what she says.
You continued to abuse him publicly by calling him an abuser, didn't you?
He is an abuser, and you can look either of us up online and figure out who's being abused online.
Let's look at some of that.
In Amber's own words, you can look up either of us online and figure out which one of us is an abuser online. Now, the only people that Amber should have been speaking to were the jury. So in the words that she chose, you, members of the jury, could look either of us up online and figure out which one of us was an abuser online. There is no other way to interpret this testimony other than to suggest that she was directly requesting the jury look her up online to figure out which of them was the abuser online. However, after the trial, both Amber and her lawyer complain that this whole thing was, in their words, played out on social media, and that the jury was swayed by social media, and how could they not avoid social media and looking this up online and elsewhere. So which is it? Did she want them to look it up online, or did they want them to avoid looking it up online? Because it can't be both, and they certainly can't complain about it when she's saying it in her own testimony, in her own words. Just to rephrase it once again, roll the clip once again.
You can look either of us up online and figure out who's being abused online.
So again, in her own words, you can look either of us up online and figure out which of us is the abuser online. Amber was speaking to the jury. Her testimony was to the jury. Her testimony was not to the world, at least it shouldn't have been. It should have been to the jury. So if her testimony was to the jury, the only conclusion you can come to, as in you, the viewer watching this now, the only conclusion you can come to, logically, reasonably, as a reasonable person, is that Amber was instructing the jury to look this up online. And that you, if you were a member of the jury, could find this online and figure out which of them was the abuser online. The only thing they would find online, realistically, apart from the op-ed and other articles that have been written about it, the only other conclusive document that anyone could find looking this up online would be the UK judgment. So if the jury did indeed take Amber's word to look this up online, as she ostensibly instructed them to do so, the jury would have looked this up online. They would invariably have found the UK judgment. They would have invariably found that found in Amber's favour, or rather the Sun newspaper, News Group newspapers, and Dan Wootton. Because remember, Amber wasn't a party to those proceedings, but nonetheless, In her own words, it was the same substantive issues underlying it, and in the way that she describes it, she was the effective opponent. So if the jury did that, they would have found that judgment. And so if, as Amber and her lawyers claim, they were so swayed by social media, they would have found that judgment and decided against her anyway, which goes to reinforce my faith in juries, that they listen very carefully to the evidence as a whole presented before them, not what they research online, not previous judgments, not news coverage, not previous articles, not what other people say. And as the anonymous juror, if it's real, which I sort of trust that it's real, that it's been verified by the news companies that have printed it, that he said they discounted most people's evidence, save for Amber and Johnny Depp. And the jury took this evidence and weighed it up accordingly. And they just didn't believe Amber's testimony, and that Johnny Depp's was more believable, more real. And this is my analysis of what's happened. This is a professional's view on everything that is presented at the trial, the way that this evidence has unfolded, and snippets like this that are wholly contradictory, where in one interview they complain that the jury looked at social media, and yet in this few seconds of this snippet, which I trust that Law and Crime won't raise a copyright dispute for, because it's a great channel and you should check them out anyway, but regardless, this very short snippet entirely undermines, in every possible sense, it entirely undermines the narrative that they criticize the jury for looking this up on social media. So, as a barrister, a lawyer, a professional, I'm taking my time with these YouTube videos to unpick and unpack, unravel and explain the tiny nuances of psychology, misdirection in this testimony, in the hope that you can reflect on it and that it can affect and instruct and inform the way you look at everything moving forward in your life. Because this was a masterpiece, in my view, in deception, misdirection, and manipulation. In Amber's words, once again, you can look this up online. She was speaking to the jury. So don't complain if the jury did look this up online, because you told them to. Thank you for watching.